a strong deliverer of infrastructure and visible projects. He is a man without sentiment who indeed can beat his chest to have been one of the very few who has been very infrastructural driven. In fact, within his first few months in Abuja, you will know that this is someone that is capable. He has that capacity.
Okay.
We cannot take it away from him. He has that capacity to be able to deliver projects, both as a governor and even as the FCT minister. Again, he's also an experienced political operator. He is capable of commanding influence and shaping outcomes. And that example can be critically seen in what transpired between him and Fubara in the Rivers State saga that led to an almost 6-month suspension of government in Rivers State by the president. And this is where it becomes more interesting. He is a controversial figure whose style and internal party behavior draw criticism and debate. There is nowhere yet some week has been politically that has not drawn cynicism, that has not drawn suspicion, that has not... He is a man that likes to be in the limelight. You also recall that shortly in Abuja also, he had a saga with a Navy captain. Something that Wike could have been able to do with an executive fiat or administrative direction. He went to that place and had an exchange of words with a Navy captain, a boy that is very young to Wike, a boy that even me as a speaker, very, very young to me. So he's a man of a public perception with high polarity. You cannot place Wike in a place. He is the Nigerian type of a political operator. So my assessment of him is a man that is doing tiki-taka, the Brazilian type of play. He is not for ideology. He is for, I will not say personal aggrandizement, but for personal popularity. Wike wants to see, he wants to position, if you look at his activity, Mazi, he's trying to position himself as a kingmaker, if not a king.
A king. So that's your own perception.
Yes, sir.
All right, but to you, is it good for governance? All right, probably you hold your thought. Let's go on a break, and when we come back, you answer that question.
Thank you.
This is still Diamond Breakfast Show with NEDU OKORIE, and I've been speaking with Mr. Tunji Alu, who has been airing his opinion after the Abuja Area Council elections and the reactions of the APC as well as the opposition. You can start dropping your message via WhatsApp on 0913-655-6864. I'll be right back.
Madam Matron, now so you go, they look me as I they carry this my RN certificate up and down without upgrading it like you, Abi.
Nurse Titi, I don't tell you, say Nurse Lara, they do distance learning. Oh, Thomas Adeomi University, she they work. She go still they go school online. Very soon, I tell you, she go get her BSc nursing and leave you behind.
Alele, make her go register sharp. Tell all my friends too. This is a big opportunity for all my nursing friends.
Now so, for just 200,000 naira per session, you fit get BSc nursing for Thomas Adeomi distance learning. For more inquiries, call the number 0803-357-8369 or call 090-231-30170 or visit our website at www.pau.edu.ng.
Lè gbára máa dáhùn pépéré ni mo ṣe ń lo Gasco. Ìgúnfẹ̀ burúkú àti inú kíkọ́. Gasco ni oògùn tó dára tó máa ti pépé. Kò yẹ ká jẹun kó má lè ká jẹ́sọ̀. Eré sálátù aláti àtayọ̀. Gasco nínú bá ti ń kan mí, máa tètè gbé. Relief food comfort. Gasco ilé kànáfì àgbàwẹ̀ mi, máa tètè gbé. Gasco antacid, Gasco antacid, ilé-iṣẹ́ Fixing Healthcare PLC ló ṣe Gasco, fast relief full comfort.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond887FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
right, you're welcome back from that commercial break. We're glad you're still listening to your shining supreme station. All right, this is still Diamond Breakfast Show, and this morning we are taking a look at the aftermath of the Abuja Area Council elections, as well as the condemnation of the PDP of Wike supporting APC during the election. All right, before we went on that commercial break, our guest, Mr. Tunji Alu, was, assessing the performance of Wike, and he actually made his submission, but he was about to answer the question whether Wike's position or Wike's, will I say, personality is good for governance. Well, the floor is open.
Yeah, Mercy, thank you very much. It's a 50-50 issue, but I know that most people will not like his style of governance. However, there are positives. There are places where his style works in terms of strong execution and speed of execution. Wike has a very strong personality to see to the fact that a project is brought to its logical conclusion. And that can be seen when his government between 2015 and 2023 was focused heavily on visible infrastructures like roads and bridges. I've been to Port Harcourt, and those bridges, fantastic. You can fly about 8 of them without, as you are dropping, you are climbing the next. You are dropping. So infrastructurally, his style, there are some areas of execution that his style can be fantastic. He has this unbridled type of Nigerian style of authority and control, which is not very democratic. So Wike runs a centralized system. It's all about him. So he brings that, and it could be problematic because it brings polarization, it brings suspicion, it brings, it also comes off like a man that is not stable. Yes.
All right. So you've said a lot concerning the whole issue and concerning the man Wike. Let's permit our listeners to add their thoughts on this matter. 0913-655-6864. That's the number to send your WhatsApp message. The number to call is 0913-655-6952. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Alaji Tayo calling from Ilorin.
Alaji, you're welcome.
You see, for one indication, I live in Port Harcourt for some years. And what I saw there in terms of infrastructural development during Wike's governmentship is quite marvelous. And people keep on saying it today, that if not Wike, the kind of traffic holdup that will have been witnessed in Port Harcourt will have been so gargantuan that people will not even be reaching their place of work. In terms of infrastructure development, you cannot take it away from him. But you see, when you don't follow, sometimes when you do things and you don't follow the route to the letter, you might be having a fault. People start to criticize you. If somebody who believes that you can do anything unwholesome and get away with it, administratively anyway. But then, if we take that away from him, I will now consider the way he delivers when he's in government. Look at Abuja today. The little time we have spent, Abuja has witnessed tremendous physical infrastructure development. But so, okay. But then, let him always consider that there are other people too. And when your right stops, other people start, starts. So you need to be there to give chance for people to come forward with their own idea. Look at what is happening today. It's neither in PDP nor in APC. So all this kind of controversy is not good for a man like him who see infrastructure development as something very important. So whatever the case, I wish him the best. But I want to see his hand in the last local government election, even though there are insinuations in some quarters that are not of one or two things that have to do with malpractice.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Alhaji Tayolo, for your contribution. This message is from Isa Mohammed. It says, good morning, Mr. Nedu. All politicians, okay. All right. I disagree with your position, Mr. Isa. Not all politicians are riggers. And I disagree with that. This one says, my name is Sakaoni Omuritala from Alori. I greet you people in the studio. Wike's politics is an academic study because Wike is controlling two parties at the same time. And at this point, Wike is a big man of politics this day, in this day. He has tried a lot in terms of infrastructure, even in River State. He has tried a lot in Abuja as well. God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much. Uluwaseyi from GRA says, I truly agree that Wike has qualities to reckon with in delivering duties, but at the same time, his political game are too risky that can't sustain a loose end. Okay? A little slip-off can put him off track. Time will tell. I hope it won't be too late before he realizes he's just an instrument in the hand of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's writing history he won't enjoy to read in the later years. Wow. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. NEDU.
Good morning.
This is Godwin from Nigeria.
You're welcome.
Care must be taken. What happens is that you can control a state or two states, but not the whole nation. See what is happening in Nigeria now. It's a parable that I told you now. You can control a state permanently, but the whole nation, is it possible for you to hold it? Man has become a man. Care must be taken. Nigeria are watching.
All right.
God bless you, Godwin from Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Godwin, for your contribution. Keep it coming. Elder Yemi Ashajo says good morning to you. It is one thing to be a politician. It is also another thing to know how to play politics. When APC and Wike were busy campaigning at the grassroots, some opposition leaders were busy eating granite and making unnecessary criticism. If there was anything wrong the APC is accused of doing, others also did it because, but it may... Others also did it, but maybe because one is smarter than the other. There is no law that says a member of the opposition cannot campaign for another party of his choice. We must draw reality by accepting the fact that Wike cannot demarket the government he serves. All right? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm delegate.
You're welcome.
Even PDP by the neck and it's a matrix. But what made him is the president, like one of the president's most message. If he's not giving the Italian, you will have been losing that power by now. That's about like I like to tell you, yes, performance the government. But his performance as a FCT minister and contested because he is the only minister and he enjoys being removed from single the treasury account. So he has a lot to play with. So I cannot assess his performance until we know how much he is getting and what he has done. I mean, it's like one of the people said, the end he justified it. He will be making APC now. But will it favor him?
Thank you so much, Mr. Bamdelege, for your contribution. Quickly, let's move on to our second conversation. All right, a lot has been said concerning Wike and, the area council elections, and many are calling Wike to take it easy in terms of his conduct. However, some are also praising him for his performance. Well, let's move on to other issues. According to critics, Nigeria's power sector has been facing significant challenges since the privatization of the generation and distribution chains of the sector in 2023. And apart from technical issues such as weak infrastructure, persistent grid collapses, power outages, inadequate metering, and even stranded power, the sector has been, hampered by huge indebtedness. This has been a big challenge for the power sector. This indebtedness is to, operators and the non-compliance of cost-reflective tariff model. That is, the tariff model that is being employed does not reflect the value that is being, given out to consumers. And this was raised by the Association of Power Generation Companies of Nigeria. To them, Nigeria's power generation stands at 4,000 megawatts. It is at an average, and it has been like that for several years, despite the infrastructural capacity, installed infrastructural capacity of 15,500 megawatts. This is what Nigeria is meant to be, generating based on the installed infrastructure at the moment. But we are generating below that, 4,000. And to the association, they said that there is no guarantee that there would be any sort of returns on investment if this continues like this. But the way it seems that there is like a disparity between the GENCOs and the DISCOs. What is being generated is different from what is being distributed, and thereby it seems that revenue is not commensurate. I think people need to understand what is going on right now in the energy sector as regards the GENCOs and DISCOs. What do you make of these claims by this association?
The Nigerian electricity problem is not just one problem. It's a chain of technical, structural, financial, and policy issues. You see, our electrical grid system, or about 70 to 80% of our electricity are gas enabled. So our grid is they are powered by gas-fired plants.
Yes.
And the gas infrastructure itself is bedeviled with a lot of issues. The gas pipeline vandalism, the gas products not paid on time, the pricing disputes between gas suppliers and even the turbines and all sorts of. Now, the problem has always been the capacity of the grid to carry what is being generated. Imagine having an installed, like you rightly stated, having an installed capacity of 15,000 megawatts,
yes,
yet cannot be able to transmit that level, even half of it. Nigerian capacity has been hovering between 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts in the last 10 years, if I can recall. Last year alone, we had a collapse almost 50 times of our national grid collapsing. And this is because the grid system is old, is weak, it's underinvested, and cannot wield large amounts of energy. So the main issue on that line is infrastructure. People, the companies are not investing. Why are they not investing? They have low capacity. Since the privatization in 2013, we have not seen major infrastructural development with the GENCOs and even the DISCOs. And if you go further in this discussion, you agree with me that many consumers, whenever there are issues with any infrastructure, communities come together to put money together and buy. Imagine MTN, masts, the backbone, having issues. MTN or Globalcom will send their technical staff to that backbone. They will put diesel and do some changes there. But when it comes to power, it is the community that will be gathering resources together to change either transformers, poles, or even wires that were destroyed.
Why has this persisted over the years? Because this trend you've mentioned is not just in one community.
At all.
In various communities in Nigeria, and the trend has persisted, and you've made a comparison with some telecommunication companies. But who is meant to, oversee the maintenance of this infrastructure, despite the fact that the DISCOs, the GENCOs have been privatized? They are meant to carry out their operations privately.
Yeah.
We are the ones paying them for the service they render.
Exactly.
And they are meant to, give us value for the money. So isn't the government meant to checkmate the private sector?
Max, this is a very, very serious issue. And was it not yesterday or a day before I was reading that the government, the Tinubu-led government, have paid a reduced debt. You know, there was an audit in that sector, and the Gencos and Discos were claiming a subsidy of about 13 trillion or thereabouts. And when that audit was made, it was now discovered that the actual value that government is owing them is just about 2.8 trillion, which the government have offset.
Wow.
Manzi, you see, when you peel, if you must peel groundnut for a blind man, you must continue to whistle to prove to that blind man that you are not eating that groundnut. Government privatized those companies and looked away. They gave power to people who do not have capacity. That is even the major problem. Like your question, the straight and direct answer to it is that there is no part of government that is actually oversighting the Gencos and the Discos. That is that. Well, tell me, show me one. The other time, the Minister of Power was saying that they should be offering freezer, offering this. And how can that solve our power shortage, our power distribution problem, and the overpricing that we have? You said it clearly in your introduction, Nedu.
Yes.
That Nigerians are not paying for what they are being served. In the last 3 days now, power has been epileptic. At the end of the month, they will come with a bill that does not correspond with what you have been served.
Now, there are some people who will say that there is some sort of political interference in terms of issues concerning tariff, and that the body in charge of regulating tariff, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, should be enabled to discharge its duties effectively to adjust tariff whenever possible to ensure that citizens actually benefit from this. And there have also been, will I say, state governments have been given the charge or the power to generate its own electricity, to generate its own power using either renewable source or whatever means it has. And we have seen some states engaging in that effectively. These are some of the, recommendations that some analysts have been given. Let's look at the way forward as regards energy provision in Nigeria. What is the way forward?
Thank you, Nedu. The way forward for energy in Nigeria is for more infrastructure to be built. Like you rightly said, tariff is a major aspect of provision of electricity power in the Nigerian system. What we have today is a far cry from what we need. We have Nigeria's population as of today is over 200 million. And we are still battling with 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts capacity, where we even have a 15,000 plus installed capacity. Whereas in South Africa, they have about 50,000 megawatts, which is what we actually need to be comfortable as of today. And the population of South Africa is not like that of our own. Tariff is a politically sensitive issue. And as it stands today, the electricity affects everyone. And this is where we need NEC, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. The NEC are not doing enough to ensure that Nigerians are tariffed adequately, and those tariffs, because tariff in itself should be able to cover all what we call the cost reflection. When you tariff, when you say for 20 kilowatts of power, you should pay so amount. What it means is that amount I'm paying will cover the power you have supplied me, which indirectly will mean that it will cater for generation, it will cater for transmission, it will cater for distribution, and it will cater for profit margin for the Gencos and the Discos. Do we have a commensurate tariff? Because you can argue and say that we are not properly tariffed. But the follow-up question then is, are we giving enough power to be tariffed properly? It's something that NEC must look into critically.
At least to get value.
To get value for what you are being paid for. And following that closely is the issue of metering. If we can meter properly,
yes.
If all Nigerians, okay, of recent, Nigeria, they rolled out free meters for Nigerians. And we have heard that they have started paying for it again. Free metering. So it's a whole lot of, that sector needs unbundling. There's a whole lot of unbundling to do. So the way forward is to, one, meter every Nigerian. Let every space and corner in the country be metered.
Okay.
2, let there be prosecution for people who vandalize power infrastructure.
Okay.
Number 3, throw out and prosecute people who have been given license to either generate or distribute power, and in the last 6 months have not done anything in that direction. Number 4, no generating company or distribution company should be allowed to continue to practice if they cannot do turnaround maintenance every 6 months. A new transformer, a new power grid infrastructure must be done every 6 months, and many more others. Martin.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Tunji Alu, for your submission. Sincerely, God bless you for your wealth of wisdom. Let's take reactions from our listeners at home. 09136556952. We're discussing issues or challenges that are affecting the power sector. What do you think can make the power sector be revamped? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Brahma.
You're welcome.
You're just speaking very well. But electricity issue in Nigeria, I call that 2 factors.
Okay.
When President was promising us like that if he doesn't give us time in the next years, not good for him. I said, you are not talking in Europe or in America. You will have lost the election by about 90-something%. First, we sold the company to businessmen, not investors. There's a difference between the two. They sold them to those who had the money for no experts. Those who just want to make gain. In 2013, I can tell you, people have even forgotten that now, not that the distribution was completely sold. Their government is having 40% share in each of the two. But many Nigerians have forgotten. But you see every year, government is budgeting money. And until the right thing is done, fortunately enough, the president has brought out one thing that people follow. You start life. I'm surprised that universities polytechnics cannot generate their own electricity. That's why they are producing bread. So once that is done, and states like Abia now, they are enjoying electricity. If other states emulate, the problem is solved by our way, but that will solve the problem.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Elder Bamidele Ige. All right, on this topic, Kolade Anide from Amsterdam says state governments should localize electricity generation. They should partner with private investors to enable access to electricity in your state. Limit your investment to the provision of access to land. Nigeria has various renewable energy sources from across its state: solar, hydroelectric power, wind energy, biomass, radio wave, and others. It is possible to light up your state with 24/7 electricity in 2026. Thank you so much for that message. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Martin.
Good morning, Officer Mutiu.
Morning, my brother.
You're welcome.
Morning to our guests in the house here.
Good morning.
You know, like I always said, the power has been decentralized, but the major problem we having are the governors. Each governor can generate power in his own state. Go to Ogun State, there's a company there that is generating power and selling to the people. They are still like that. Nobody is complaining. It's like what Edirama Dele said. When Atiku and his, when they said he would be lied to their cohort, then they told it to all businessmen are not interested. That's why we are still battling with the problem now. And the president promised that in 4 years, what Bola Ike did during the first time of Obasanjo. So, the president does not know the enormity of the rot in the power sector. That's why he's promising that in the next 4 years. So it's not left for the governors. They should start doing things for the people. It's not about the people, it's not for themselves. Yes, the investment they've done is okay. They should start, the people are crying.
All right. Thank you so much, Officer Mutiu. This message from Elder Yemi Ashajo says the position of electricity supply is very unfortunate. It must be a very powerful monster, as no government has been able to provide a workable solution to it. It is very unfortunate that those who sold NEPA and refused to use billions of dollars meant to fix the power sector are the same people using it to campaign. No matter what happens, fixing the power sector has become a jigsaw that must be accomplished. Now that states can generate their own electricity, we want to see those we can actually call governors. It is not an assignment for lazy governors. All right, thank you. Mr. Ben from Itelepa says, good morning, Diamond FM. I think Wike should take it easy because not all that glitters are gold. When the world do about turn, those who are at the front will be at the back. Some of the PDP members can testify to that, where they were before and where they are today in Nigerian politics. As for Wike, the end justifies the means. Everyone is just saying that. The ends justify the means. All right. This message is from Samuel from Airport. He says, good morning. The situation of the country's electricity problem is embarrassing to the country. How can a country with a population of 200 million generate only 4,000 megawatts for a period of about 10 years? The companies managing electricity in the country are not performing their duties effectively. Unless urgent measures are taken to address the situation, many companies in the country will collapse. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome, Mr. Issa, quickly.
Thank you so much. I just want to really bring the case in your house.
Thank you.
That's where the president started liberalizing, generating, and also distribution. Was it just for the government? I think for people in Nigeria that have this money, they can also come into that aspect. Let them come and invest. And that's what they are doing in other big countries. It's not just for the governors and the president alone. Let them also bring this money that is in their hands to invest, and then they have to just in their hands. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Is saying that private individuals as well should be incorporated into the liberalization of electricity in Nigeria, and not just state governments. Well, our time is fast spent. Let's quickly move on to our final conversation. This is actually pertaining honesty in Nigeria's public service. Is it possible to attain honesty as an individual or in Nigeria's public service? Senator Siriake Dixon, representing Bayelsa West under the PDP, said it is difficult to serve with honesty in Nigeria's public service. And he cited that Nigeria's public sector is a hostile environment that is characterized by propaganda, blackmail, and misrepresentation. And he said this when he made remarks on Monday while responding to a Transparency in Leadership Award conferred on him by the Center for Credible Leadership and Citizens Awareness at the National Assembly. And while recounting his journey in governance, the former Bayelsa State Governor said he relied on a personal creed of service to humanity and to God to navigate, what he described as an unfavorable public service climate. So to him, he's saying that if not for service to God and humanity, he wouldn't have survived the unfavorable climate of public service. But despite the challenges, he said that he maintained his integrity by standing with the masses. Well, it is his words against that of his people. Well, but let's react to this quickly.
Yeah, Mazi, a man who fetches water with a clean calabash will not be afraid of the marketplace. integrity is sine qua non for every public servant. Anyone that must serve people, must serve. Look at our creed, in our pledge, in our national anthem, to serve with all our might, in honesty. So honesty is an attribute that all public officers, whether spiritual or physical, as long as you serve the people, honesty and integrity must be your watchword. Yes, the Nigerian political space is a tough one because corruption thrives in our political space. And why do you think corruption thrives? We have a weak system. When good people get tired, corruption thrives. When good people who are supposed to participate in policy making withdraws, corruption thrives, and integrity becomes pointless. The real question we should be asking is that how strong is our political system? Have we built our system to such an extent that the system is corruption free or corruption proof, so that anyone who comes in will flow with the integrity and the process of the system? If I call a name, there was the one name called Professor Dora Akuyili. It's a name that rang bells during the Obasanjo reign as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Dora never knew, Obasanjo never knew Dora from Adam. It was because she served with the PTDF and she was sponsored for treatment abroad, and she returned with the money that was given to her. More than half of what was given to her was returned back to the public coffers. And he said, who is this woman? Who is this person that have done things that have not been done before? So integrity and honesty, peace, and can be achieved in our public space.
Well, integrity and honesty pays, and it can be achieved in our public service. Many say it is difficult to be honest in Nigeria, despite the whole propaganda and challenges. And when you are faced, especially with issues like this, you have it's either in Nigeria is a thing of you either join them,
you either beat them or join them.
So if you can't beat them, you actually join them. And most people are usually overwhelmed.
Very overwhelmed.
And you know what? They join them and they say, well, nobody, my papa gets this place.
Mazi, you must be strong to be the only person among 30 people who wants to thief, want to steal, want to take things.
You must be strong to say no.
You want to say no.
Well, we pray that God help us.
Amen.
All right, let's take our final messages and we call it a day this morning. This one says, a public servant should be a model of decorum, decency, and performance. How a public officer delivers performance matters. Every achievement without integrity is zero. This is from Kolade Ide from Amsterdam. Thank you so much for your message. And Sakaoni Omuritala from Alori says, I greet you in the studio. In fact, the most corrupt sector is the power sector because they are collecting money from the government and also collecting from the masses in the country. We need a serious government to check the power sector. Even if government... Okay, thank you so much for that message. All right, Yemi Ashadu says, I agree with what Dixon said, but that does not mean that he can pass integrity test if he is brought under the illumination of thorough investigation. As far as corruption is concerned, we are all involved in Nigeria. Those who are interested in acts of dishonesty are more in number than, and that is why it is very difficult. All right. Let us call it a day here on the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Tunji Alu, for coming this morning.
Thank you, Nedu.
To everyone who participated, Elder Yemi Ashajo, Elder Bamidele Sakaoni Muitala, Alhaji Tayo Lowo, Isa Mohammed, Mr. Ben from Itelepa, thank you so much for your messages and your calls. This is where I'll be drawing the curtains. Have a wonderful day.
Welcome you, Mr. Casey, from the Nigeria Business Mastery Group. Thank you very much. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's glad being here today. Mr. Casey, a lot of people want to know what the Nigeria Business Mastery Group is all about. The Nigeria Business Mastery Group is an international